Hello, everybody. So today I'm going to continue where I left off yesterday. I didn't do any work yesterday after I cut the live stream out. Though I have done a little bit of thinking. So oh, by the way, congratulations TypeScript for rewriting in Go or porting to Go. It's not exactly a rewrite. Seems like it's a function for function port, which is very interesting. 10 times faster. So I knew this was going to happen. I knew that we would get to a point where it's slow enough for people who matter, or like the people who decide that they are going to make it faster. And so I never really cared too much about people saying, oh, well, like when the code base gets massive, then you'll wish you used interfaces instead of types. Like, okay, yeah, maybe if I get in those massive code bases. But see now, that won't matter anymore. It just won't matter. 10 times faster. That's amazing. Anyway, yesterday I was starting work on upgrading or doing a workshop for upgrading to React Router v7. But I was thinking that like workshops are really intended to teach you skills, and that's what the exercises are for, is to teach you these skills. But you don't really need the skill of being able to upgrade to React Router v7. Like that's not something you need to practice and get good at. You really just do it once and then you move on with your life. Unless you decide to be a v5 to v7 consultant or something, I suppose. But you're kind of a niche if you do that. So yeah, in thinking about that a little bit more, I decided I think that it still could be kind of useful for people to be able to see the evolution of a code base in upgrading or migrating to React Router version 7. And so I'm going to leave the workshop where it is. I'm not going to like delete it or anything. And I do think it'd be kind of fun to see what it looks like to downgrade our app to v5. So we're going to do that on this stream, but I'm not going to do, I don't think I'm going to do all the stuff that's in between. We'll just let it be what it's going to be. And we'll leave it there until later if I decide, you know what, okay, let's do the incremental steps so people can look at the diffs and learn from that or something. I do think that it would be valuable to, when I sell this workshop series, to say, yeah, in one of the workshops, we'll teach you how to get to the latest version of React Router. I think that there will be a lot of people who are interested in that. I'm just not sure that like having exercises is necessarily what people actually need, even if it's what they think they want. So anyway, once I finish with that, then I need to do the data management with React Router 7. I also have a talk that I'm going to be giving about principle-based programming as the title that I'm going to be giving in Paris next week. And I've been thinking about it a lot. It's definitely a topic that's been on my mind, but I haven't really, I prepared things yesterday, but I haven't actually prepared the slides or anything like that. So I need to do that at some point too. Anyway, hello chat. Let's get this in. And let's get things going. So, yeah, right here, nothing's running. Upgrade React Router. Let's start the dev server here. Actually, we'll do it in here. Close these, got that going. All right, so we go under here. And actually, you know what I think I want to do? Let's open up the exercises 01 problem. We're going to open that up in its own instance of Cursor. And this will hopefully make it a little easier for Cursor to know what I'm doing and not touch any files I don't want it to. So let me just double check. I think I downgraded this. Yeah, okay. All right, let's tell Cursor what's going on. There we go. This is a project that I created using React Router v7, and I want to downgrade the React Router bits to version 5. I don't want to downgrade anything else. Let's just talk about the React Router stuff and get it down to React Router DOM version 5. I already have that updated in the package.json and dependencies are all installed. So please just take a look at the routes and upgrade, or rather downgrade everything to version 5 of React Router DOM. And you know what? It just occurred to me, this needs to be version 5, no caret, because we want to actually start at version 5. So let's try this, npm ls react router DOM. That's interesting. Huh. Oh, right, because React Router. Oh, wasn't actually expecting that to work out so nicely. But eventually, if we end up doing this as a workshop, then one of them is going to need React Router DOM version 6, and then we'll have to break things up a little bit. But yeah, there we go. That's good. Okay, so routes and downgrade everything. The code, route related code to React Router or DOM version 5. Okay, and let's pull up Spotify and get our beats going. There we go. Let me know if the let me know if the background music is too loud. It should just be like nice hanging out in the background. There is somebody at my door. One second. Where's break time? Yeah, be right back. Whew, okay, good. Let's see how it did. Well, this isn't looking good. Oh, we got types. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, sure. That's a good idea. Okay, let's review files. We'll just accept files without looking at them, because that's vibe coding, my friends. There we go. Okay. Looks like I think it just imported or fixed all the imports or changed all the imports. All right. There are some features in version 7 of React Router that aren't supported in version 5 of React Router. Do your best to adjust for those features that are missing. Oh, okay. Glassy Drink is asking if they can ask a question. You can, but big questions or like questions that are not about what I'm here for, you can ask during my office hours, and also the Call Kent podcast. You can ask that over there anytime, and I will answer later. But I try to be focused on what I'm doing, so I will not answer just random questions. Okay, Nunzi. In V5, were you ever using prompt or use prompt? In the upgrade to V6, the initial solutions to make work seemed a bit hacky. Did you run into this? Yeah, so I don't think that I ever actually used use prompt before, but here, actually, I just realized we may need to add React error boundary. Yeah, so I'm not sure what the solutions for that are. That's probably that's not surprising to me that could be an issue for some people. I'm sure that there are reasonable workarounds now, but the fact is that it's an unreliable API anyway, and so probably better to not rely on it. If the team seems to suggest data browser and use blocker before unload, then yeah, I think I don't think I've heard of use blocker. Where use blocker? No, they need to fix their docs. The fact that the API docs are separate, the API reference, don't like that at all. Use blocker. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, and yeah, so this is what I would use. Yep, that's what I would do. Okay, let's just accept everything. All right, next file. Let's scrunch this up a bit. Sweet, this is amazing. Okay, here's how you upgrade to React Router version 7 if you're on version 5. You just tell Cursor to do it, and it will figure it out. It's at least seems to be pretty successful at downgrading me. Although we'll see. I don't know. Maybe maybe it won't. We're not done yet. So. Looks like it thinks it's done. Let's just, whoops. TypeScript. Okay, fine. We'll do it over here where TypeScript is set up. All right, so we've got exact routes TSX. I do remember exact used to be a thing. Yeah, let's see. Basic. They do have exact on here. Route is coming from React Router DOM. Oh, we're ending up in the wrong. Yeah, types. Okay. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Here. Yeah. How are we gonna fix this? Let's come over here. And in the package.json, we need to make sure that the version of React Router DOM and React Router and the types for React Router DOM and the types for React Router are specific to this directory so that they're not being shared to other directories that have different versions. I know that there's a way to do this, and I probably described it poorly, but Luis is wondering my next remote workshop. I'm hoping that we get something in the next, 2 months. I want to do a whole React Router series of workshops. And so, I could deliver the, get started with React Router workshop next week if I needed to. But, that's the level of preparedness. Honestly, I could probably do it by tomorrow if I worked on it right now. Oh, whoops. Huh. I'm confused why we removed React Router DOM from the dependencies and why the types were removed as well. Do we need those even though we have resolutions? I thought we did. Oh, you have expiring budgets? That's very nice of you. Yeah, I'm not going to be listing tickets for that for a little while. But if they do want some really great education, then Epic Web has stuff already, and Epic React, of course, as well. So, yeah, that's an option, maybe. Thank you. It's very nice of you. I'm not sure why it moved the React plugin. Wait a second. It added. Yeah. Why? I don't know why I did that. Yeah. Okay. We'll accept that. And then we'll come over here and install. And let's see. Types React Router. DOM. Okay. Cool. So that now. Just reload this guy. If I dive into here, for some reason it's taking me there. Yeah, the types. All right, here, let's nuke this. Node modules and package lock. Let's try that again. Okay, now, okay, still got the type errors, so this is still going through here. I think I know what's going on. Maybe. No, we're not getting our types. Yeah, this is... okay, hold on. Oops. Is there a way to force the installation of these packages inside this directory? I just realized I was not in the right spot. Is there a way to force the installation of React Router DOM and all of its dependencies inside of this project so we don't install it at the root? I'm pretty sure there is. I did this with... No. We are using NPM. And this is going to be a bit hacky, and people are going to say, why don't you just use PNPM? Everybody's using... But they're not. Most people are using NPM, and I don't want to... I don't feel so strongly about the package manager that I want to change that. So anyway, we have... yeah, this is how we're going to do this. So we go to the root, and we go to dependencies here, and this is going to be React Router DOM and React Router and types. There we go. All right, let's try that. And now if we look at our node modules here, oh, that's the wrong one. We've got our types for React Router DOM. Oh, interesting. Types React Router is not... Well, this is working now. Maybe there's not a types React Router DOM. Huh. All right, here we go. Let's try that now. That's interesting. So we didn't get types until 5.1. Well, that's too bad because I wanted, you know what? We don't need a 5.1. Actually, that works out just fine to use the latest version. We just won't use the feature. Yeah, okay. Oh, come on. Is it 5. React Router DOM 5.3.4. I got a bajillion nightlies. I feel like NPM should understand that people want this and figure out a way to make it work. Yeah, 5.3.4, I guess. I'm guessing this is going to be the same. 5.1.20, okay. Five, 3, 3. Okay. So let's close this guy. And this is, yeah, all right. There we go. So now we've got types in here. Our types are happy, we're good, in a good place. So here's the real trick. Does it work? One problem. Start app. It starts. Okay. Link about TSX. 1. All right, React Router. Yeah, React Router DOM. There we go. Sign up. Oh man, it renders. It renders the home page. Recipients. Oh, snap. Let's go to get started. Grad a text. Contact. Go back. About. Yep. Go home. It looks like it changed the layout, so not super into that. Not sure why I did that. But yeah, super interesting. So let's look at the diff. Let's pull up the full page. Oops. Diff here. Yep, that all makes sense. How's that 404 happening? Routes. Not found route, yep. This big switch thing. Then we have our error boundary that wraps it all. Let's see. If we go, here we go. And we change one of these, boom. That is cool. Okay, yeah, so that's all working. Just gotta fix the layout because it did some weird, funny stuff. I'm not sure why it did that. Oh, hold on. Yeah, it removed that. Oh, because we don't have the error. I feel like the error boundary can get the error though, as an error boundary component. So we can look at that later if we really care that much. Yeah, completely different API. Sure is better, isn't it? Yeah, let's look at search. Hey, it totally works. So that's cool. I built this. I use a library for parsing the git diff. I move all the files, all the relevant files to temporary directories, then I do a git diff on that, and then I parse that git diff, and I generate markdown for this, and then I parse the markdown to generate this. MDX. Yeah, it's definitely something I'm very proud of. Yeah, okay, so this is like not terribly bad. I actually feel pretty good about what we're doing here. So we're gonna fix some of the layout weirdness. I'm not sure why it changed that, but our recipient layout, this like totally changed. So we're gonna open, here's what we're gonna do. Open this in app 2. We're gonna go to this thing, and then we'll go to app 1 and do that. And then, yeah, we needed, yeah, children right there instead of the outlet. And then the is active state. Okay, this is active class name, underline. Stick that there. Okay, and then it's just the is active. We're gonna look at that link to thing. We're in React Router v5, which does not support render prop is active on the nav link. Please handle this case in v5. Yeah, the diff checker, it did take a lot of effort because I built that before AI was as helpful, but it was still helpful. I probably built it on stream back in like 2003. Yeah. Is there a benefit to using the outlet? Yes, there is. You should absolutely don't look at what I'm doing right now and think this is how you should write React Router code. I'm writing v5 stuff. You should not be doing things this way. Use the outlet. There's a scope to not use NPM resolutions in your case. I'm not sure what that means. Sorry. But thanks. Now, this is not... I reject that. Or wait, oh no, hold on. They just one-lined that. Okay, that's fine. Ah, okay. Yeah, sure. That was clever. Clever. Okay, so now we've got our recipient chooser, which is beta. And edit. Cool. Click on recipients, that takes me home. Yep, that's all working. So that's neat. Would you look at that? I made it. I made the app work in v5. Except for that one. Whoops. Add new recipient. Yeah. Just want to make sure. I don't think that we had support for relative routes in v5, so yeah, shouldn't be using that. Okay, cool. So we come here, add new recipient, boom. So that's awesome. Mom, Emily, edit. Add to queue doesn't do anything. Cool, okay. So there are probably some features of v5 that we're not touching on. Yeah, we don't have a redirect. Yeah, I guess. Do I care to add a redirect? I don't know. So here it's using component. Oh, right. Here it's using children. All right. Let's move this deeper into v5. Instead of using children, let's use the route component prop. Come on, that's not supposed to take that long. This should be very fast. Here we go. Wow. I can't help but feel, all right, we're gonna accept this. And then here's what we're gonna do. Oops. Because we're not insane. Ah. Okay. Console log app routes. I don't think that this will ever re-render, but just want to make sure. Yeah. We're good there. Okay. I was going to complain about recreating a new component every render, but yeah, this will never re-render, so it's fine. I feel like... All right. Let's just ask ChatGPT. Is this a pretty typical routes file for React Router v5 before they added the children prop to the route component? The thing I'm kind of confused about is I can't remember having to render the layout components. It's just been so long since I've used React Router version 5. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, okay, that's right. So, let's just do one more thing. Let's get rid of the inline arrow functions on the components and instead create components for each of these. I'm actually thinking maybe we should move the layout wrapping to the components themselves, but let's not do that right now. And I'm going to delete all that. Yeah, I think pretty typically the layouts were just part of the components, the routes themselves. There we go. Except yep, that's more standard. I was gonna say I would call them wrapped homepage, wrapped about, wrapped index, yada yada. But I do think that these layout things, that would have just appeared in the homepage route. It would have the layout stuff right here. That would be more typical, more standard. Aaron, what's up, Aaron? I'm looking forward to seeing you too. So excited. One benefit of keeping the layout component at the router level is it won't re-render when routes change. Yes. No, actually. So here we can verify that. I don't think that is the case. So if I say console log app layout, and we come over here, we got our app layout. Then I go to one of these. Oh, I gotta fix that, I guess. Recipients, get started. App layout is not, oh yeah, there we go. So it is going to re-render, and the reason that it will is because we may be rendering, oh, that's not happy about that. There we go. Yeah, we may be rendering the same, sorry, I'm just distracted. Where did we go? Here we are. We may be rendering the same app layout between the these different components, but the component itself is going to be different. And so it's going to unmount the old one and mount a new one and say, oh, look, there's an app layout, but like it's not going to preserve that between them. You wouldn't want it to either. Yeah, so that was always a problem with React Router v5, and now we've got v6, so it's good. Yeah, so Mesh, I know that the resolutions, the ones I used in package.json, what I didn't understand is what you were suggesting as an alternative. I think the resolutions worked, so it's kind of hard to say why not do the way I did it. Okay, so let's actually come back. We'll go to recipients, select a recipient, and these links are wrong. So let's find where that recipient's layout to, whoops. There we go. All right, that fixes that. Okay, good. Let's just check 2 again. Yeah. Okay, we are all set. So there you go. I think that's as far as I'm going to take this. I'm not going to do the in-between steps, but here is the difference between an app at v5 and an app at v6. Oh, let's do this one really quick. Let's, we can improve this a bit. Yeah, let's console log arguments, and let's go into layout. And arguments includes an error prop. Yep. Pretty sure I added that. Fun fact, yours truly was a maintainer of React Error Boundary for a while. Error boundary props. There we go. Error. Okay, so with that now, we can add this back. And this, What? Oh, fallback component. Yeah, fallback props. There we go. There we go. Okay, cool. So then I also want to just do this as well, keep them the same. And we can get rid of that. Okay, so the difference now is kind of think we could do this a little differently. Fallback, render, and just grab this. Oh, and actually, no, we do need children. Yep, there we go. And it's just the one component. Yep. So that's cool. The button doesn't change much. Main changes just a little bit. Let's get rid of that test thing. App layout, just now it accepts children. And yep, switch to outlet. Here's our about, our layout for this, also children thing. Yeah, open in app 2. Yeah, okay. So the types are just slightly different. Slightly more forgiving in this version, which I think is probably more correct, but what do you do? We're gonna just reduce the diff to not be quite so distracting. That part is not important to what we're doing. Okay, so then let's open this in app 2. I'll do that here as well. And that diff is a little better. So now we have use search params, but before you had use history, use location, and then make a search params object. And then params.set. And then history replace. So yeah, this is back. Yeah. Trying to think. I'm not gonna go to class components. I'm sorry, we're not gonna do that. Aaron, I just noticed your comment about having this problem on V7. Need to raise it up another level. Yes, but you couldn't do that here because the app layout doesn't exist on not all pages in our case. So here we have, oh, I'm looking at the wrong router. Oh, yeah, okay. So here are our routes. So you'll notice the not found route, that does not have the layout around it, and the sign up route as well doesn't have anything wrapping it. So that's why I cannot do that. Yeah, interesting. Yes, you need nested routes. And so we can't do that in V5, but in V7, yeah, you're not going to have things change unless the your layout needs to change. It's not going to re-render. You will get, like, if you're using the data APIs, you will get re-renders of the layouts when loaders change and things. But yeah, if you're just changing, like, you got sibling routes, you're just inside of a parent, you're changing those, the parent's not going to re-render. So okay, cool. And then we've got our error boundary. Here we need to, yeah, let's fix up this one as well to do something similar. And here, let's see. Yeah, sure. That's kind of what I wanted to do. Okay, great. So that takes care of that. So then the error boundary changes just a little bit. And we have to handle that ourselves with our own error boundary component because v5 didn't have support for that. Okay, and then the routes all change. And there you are. Yeah, and then this one's kind of interesting. Oh, yeah, that's relative there. And then we had active class name, and now we have is active, render prop thing, render prop here. And instead, we just said, yeah, active class name, active group, huh. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we need to add a group on there. Yeah, we're not getting the active icon thing. So that's not actually working yet. We go to the layout of recipients. We just need to add group here. There we go. Now it's working. It's interesting, like, I don't know if you can note it, if you can tell, but the arrow was on Dad and now it's supposed to be on Bethany, but the transition doesn't happen until I click here. Which is interesting. I think the reason is because it's actually removed from the DOM. And so the transition never happens until it gets added back to the DOM. Just weird things going on there. I don't care enough to look too much deeper into it. Not sure if React Router v5 allows us to have a component between switch and route components. Yeah, I don't think that it did. Pretty sure, and we're not doing that. We've got our switch here and our routes right there. So yeah, we wouldn't be able to say, hey, here's our like layouts or anything. That's what makes React Router v7 so nice. Yep, I think that's what you were saying. Honestly, like there could be an argument made where we should actually do it this way for v7, but like with the group thing and just do it with CSS. But I'm gonna leave it the way it is. For two reasons. One, it works, so why change it? And two, I actually want to demonstrate how to use the render prop thing. So yeah, but it is interesting. Okay, cool. So that's it. That's as far as I'm gonna go with this one, and we're gonna just move on from it. And maybe I will actually come back and turn it into exercises, but I just don't really see a lot of value in doing that. Just because it's not the sort of thing that you really need to develop skills for. So, okay, finish v5 version. I am kind of tempted to make a v6 version, just so you get like halfway. And because that was so easy with Cursor doing that. So if we did let's say 50.upgrade v6. I think it'll be easier to say, okay, let's upgrade to v5 than to go from v7 and say downgrade to v6 and like keep things mostly the same. No, we're gonna go the other way. Yeah, so this is gonna be problem v6. And we're gonna open that in its own instance of code to make that easier. All right, and then we're gonna update this to be v6. Let's see. React router DOM 6 dot something 6.30. The challenge will be, hey, I want it like early v6. Telling it, no, we want this to be an early v6 of React Router DOM. Don't use any of those nice fancy features that were added later on. Because I want to show, here are the minimal changes to go from 5 to 6. And then here's what it takes to go from 6 to 6.4. And then from 6.4 to 7, I guess. Honestly, once you get to 6, there's not a whole lot of changes to get to 7. In fact, I wonder if we're using any of the features that actually broke in v7. I'm pretty sure that we are done. And everything that we have in here actually works with v7. That would be interesting. So let's come over here and get our resolutions right. I wonder, is React Router DOM v6, does that have types? Yeah, we don't need types. That's nice. Get rid of that. Or wait, no, we're gonna copy this. Oh, and this Vite plugin thing, that needs to go up here. What the heck is that all about? Element of PQRSTUV. Yeah. Yeah, so we'll do that, and then we're gonna grab these resolutions and bring them down in here. Except it's gonna be 6.0, we don't do types. All right, let's come over here to v6. I already checked for v6. I think this is based off of tags. Remix, React Router. So let's look at our tags. v6.0.0. Huh. It's there, so maybe it's branches? v6? Yeah. Let's see what it says in upgrading. So it says, okay, get yourself ready. Switch it over to using children. Get rid of redirects. Refactor custom routes. Looks like in v5 you actually could render something inside of a switch that's not a route. Yeah, this upgrade here is actually quite a bit more substantial than from going, well, I don't know, like maybe that really is is it. Okay, let's see if all I need to do is a find replace. Didn't I save this? 50 upgrade. Problem V6. Problem V6. I saved. Oh, I didn't save it. Here we go. There you are. Okay, so install dependencies. And now this should have React Router v6. Okay. So the diff between these two is just in the package.json and the versions. The other thing that we need is React Router. Yeah, that should be React Router DOM. And then, yeah, there are a couple of new features that I don't want. Why did it open all of these? Okay. All those. Then close that. Stop this one. Here we go. Oh, well, it renders. Yep, everything is working. Yep, so that's neat. So what that means is once you get from V5 to V6, then you're basically on V7. Yeah, okay. Sorry, we got some moderation stuff I need to do over here. Ban. Go away forever. Okay. So I guess what I want to do though is, like, most people probably are not using those features. So we want to bump this down to use features that were not available until later. I'm trying to create a version of this application that uses React Router DOM version 6, which is an early version of version 6, without any of the features that were added in 6.4 or later. Can you remove features? Actually, you know what? Let's see if it can handle all of this. All right. I would like to, whoops, here we go. I would like to have a checkpoint between problem v5 and problem v6. Even though version 6 of React Router is very similar to version 7, and there are no breaking changes effectively, only feature improvements, I would like to take the version 6 app that we have in here and downgrade it to version 6.0.0 so that all of the features that were added later on are not available or not used in the version 6 app. So we can see how we used to do things in version 6. So could you take what we have in version 5 and apply it to what we have in version 6 such that we're changing as few things as possible from the version 5 while still making it work in version 6. Good luck. Oh, Nate, what's up? I added Type Ahead to live chat. That's neat. Yeah, cool stuff. You know, I just noticed something. There's like a primary chat option, and I can switch it to X. What happens if I do that? So now if I go over here, let me sign in. I'm looking at Streamlabs over here. Put in my password and my 2FA code. Logging in. There we go. And now I've got built-in chat. What's up, Nate? Hey, I just used Type Ahead as well. Nice. All right, but I'm typically doing the multi-stream chat so I can see all the chats. But anyway, that's kind of fun. Okay. Rather than making a new directory, let's just update the V6 upgrade app that we have to be that checkpoint. Actually, you know what? I probably should have copied it from V5, from the V5 one, copied that and made the V6 one. It understood that I wanted like V6, which is kind of cool. We'll have to probably update the resolutions as well, I think. Oh, it did. Did it do that? I just didn't notice or something. I don't know. Okay, that's fine. Whoops. I'll just install. Okay. We're gonna just accept all. Vibe coding here. Accept all those things. Damien, when is course launch? I'm glad that you asked. I'm hoping to get it by like August. Just kind of depends on when I can get everything done. I've got 2 weeks until Epic WebConf, and once that is done, then I will have like nothing else but the workshops to work on, which will be a very good thing. Yep, we can accept file now. The layouts don't accept children, so we gotta go and update all those. I asked yesterday about what you think about Remix's future. Oh, I missed that question. I feel great about it. I am very enthusiastic about what the Remix team did with React Router v7, making it so that people who've been using React Router for all this time have a place that they can go to. Why did you add a menu icon? No, we don't have a menu icon. Yeah, so like a place to go to get to the future of React. What the heck what is going on here? What are you doing? No. What are you? No. I'm not sure you're doing the right things here. Okay. Well, let's go to v5 recipient layout. You're just going to copy this and paste it over all this. All right, there you go. Now try. Yeah, so I think it's awesome. The React Router team, Remix team, has made such a great path forward for people who are using React Router. Oh, come on. Yeah, there we go. We'll make you work on that later. Okay, cool. And what they're working on with what will become Remix is going to be really great. I'm very excited about getting React Server components in React Router. I think that will be a really big thing too. But yeah, what is going to become Remix, or what they're working on that they will call Remix, is going to be phenomenal. Very bullish on that. I think it's going to be great. So, looking forward to it. Here we go. Man, why are you changing so much? Oh, good grief. Yeah, I knew it was a mistake. Okay, we're gonna stop this. We're gonna stop. Reject it all. You messed up big time. We're gonna go back and we're going to base this off of the v5 version. And actually, do we? Fix package, yeah, package JSON. All right, so now I'm gonna copy this. We're gonna paste it in here. We're gonna say, whoops, v6 upgrade. v5 start. Yeah, we'll call this the v6 start. Okay, and then we're gonna come over here. We'll say, now we're at 6.0.0. We'll get rid of the types, resolve those, and then yeah, let's just check out what the types are saying. Also, I want to double check. That's interesting. Let's delete that. How do we end up with types for this? Huh. Yeah, so we've got 5 and 6 and 7 types. How did we end up with types in here? Oh, here, let's... Come on, I want to add it to this. Here, read me MDX. V6. Okay, that's better. So this package JSON. Oh, here it is. We got types for these guys. All right, so now let's have it restore that. Great, that's what we want. All right. Type check. Okay, great. This is what I expected. So now we come over here to this one and this app is the same as the Upgrade v5 app, except it now has React Router DOM version 6.0. I want to upgrade and change as little as possible to get this app working with React Router DOM v6. Let's see what it can do with that. Mockingbird, hello. Should I continue using Remix or switch to React Router? Switch to React Router. Upgrade, you're not really switching either. It's a very simple process. You pretty much change any Remix run import to React Router, and that's it. So if you were on the latest version of Remix with all the feature flags enabled, you can run a simple script that will just update all of your imports, and there are like a couple of small things that might impact you, but it's not going to take you a lot of time. So it's not really a switch, it's just an update. Okay, so Outlet, I'm pretty sure Outlet was in version 6.0. I want to just double check ls React Router DOM. We are in version 6, so if it's not supported, then we'll definitely know. But I'm pretty sure outlets came right at the start of v6. Let's look at the diff. Between v5 and v6. Okay, so the package JSON is going to change. That is expected. The layout, now we're doing outlets, outlet, and outlet. Now this one changed like way more than it should have. So here we're going to open this in app 1. We're going to copy this, open it in app 2, and paste, and then switch from children to outlet. And that's all that they should have done. And then this active class name thing. And actually, Yeah. Go back. Okay, there we go. That's the way it should be. And frankly, open app one. This guy makes no sense like that either. There we go. Okay, so class name gets is active, but we don't get a render prop yet on the outset, it seems like. Okay. Okay, yeah, and in app one, yeah, we want group there. So it's group and active. Those things change for that. Okay, good. All right, what else you got? What else you got for me? Review next file. We're gonna just accept this guy wholesale. I don't want to review that. And let's see what differences do we have. So we don't get these. We still use routes. So we have our unknown error boundary. We don't have error boundary handling yet. We don't have components. We have elements. Man, this is a mess. It's hard to see what's going on here. It does look like we have error boundaries. No, we don't. Oh, we're wrapping. Yeah, that works. That's fine. Okay. Yeah, let's see if this actually runs. I like this diff. Why am I doing this? I'm not going to make a workshop out of this. I don't know, because I think it's an interesting problem. MJ, what's up? Remix Java is going well. Glad to hear it. Codebase uses a deprecated remix function called defer. Yeah, okay. Don't understand what I'm supposed to do. The app still runs the same. Yeah, it's deprecated, so it's going to continue to run. It's a Shopify project. I don't know if the previous contractor did this, but the whole app gets its data from a request from the root loader. It seems like a hack. Yeah, that's definitely like, that was something that the person who was building it didn't know Remix and was like learning it on the fly, and that's fine. That's like how we build things, is we just kind of learn things on the fly. But if I were in your position, first off, if you see that defer is deprecated, then I'm guessing you're on the latest version of React Router. Or at least a pretty recent version of Remix, and like that defer function being deprecated is probably not the most important thing, but what you can do is instead of what defer allows you to do is send a promise over the wire. So like you have some asynchronous thing that you start on the server and then it streams the result to the client. It's really cool, very, very cool. But I don't think that like if you're seeing that it's deprecated, then there's another way you can do this, and that is with the built-in functionality. So you just don't have to you can literally just delete defer, or there's a new data function you can use if you need to specify headers or something. So defer or data. Here we go. Data loading. Data. Where's the data function? Come on, really? Man, I'll tell you what, their docs are like kind of missing stuff. So here we're just, that's our client loader. Streaming, here we go. That's what we want. So what you're doing right now is streaming with suspense with defer, and you no longer have to do that. So here you'll notice this is non-critical data, so it's a promise. and here's critical data, so we're awaiting it. So the loader doesn't finish until this critical data has loaded, because that's how JavaScript works. Whereas this non-critical stuff can come in later, and you can return both of those. And if you want to control the headers, oh man, they don't have the data function? You gotta be kidding. Ugh. They're working on it. They're working on it. Yeah, they should definitely put the data function right there. So if we look at the API reference, data route object, no, here it is. This is what you want. This allows you to pass a response init, which is gonna be status and headers and stuff. It's cool. It's very cool. Anyway, if you have specific questions or code or something, you can bring it up in my office hours at some point. Okay, yeah, we're gonna see if this thing runs, and it does not. We don't have a use history, so let's go to our ID here. There's no use history. Use navigate. Actually, hold on. We can do use search params for what we're doing. Use search params, yeah. What are you complaining about? What? We're absolutely referencing it. What are you talking about? Oh, we got a syntax error. That's what's going on. Right? Okay, there we go. That's better. I'm kind of confused by why that's giving me a pain, but they probably removed it because it's like, yeah, this is kind of pointless. Any value could be a string or undefined, and there's no guarantee that it's not, so we're not even gonna bother with that, which I think is a good call. Yep, good call. Okay, so we're gonna have to do the same thing here. And here we go. Let's get started, GradaText, contact 404, about, go home, recipients, select recipient. We've got the isActive states working, edit, add recipient. Yep, we're looking good. Oh, and yay. Blah, blah, blah. Cool, that totally works. Awesome, very happy about this. So let's look at the diff again. So going from V5 to V6, you need to change your layout components. You have them, even though there wasn't really a layout concept in React Router, you have layout components, and you're going to change those from children to use outlets. And if you don't have specific components for that, then like visualize your app as having all these like the common layouts that you have. Extract those from the places that you've got them to the point where it looks like my V5 start, and then you're going to do this. So yeah, then the use params types changed, so we're going to deal with that. That's fine. We now have use search params, so we don't have to do the history and location nonsense, which is nice. And then here's another layout thing. We now have the instead of active class name, you have isActive, so that's cool. And then we've got our routes, which changed significantly. So we now have nested routing. Beautiful. And then to go from V6 to V7, we're gonna have everything imports from React Router DOM. We now have proper error boundary support built in, and we have this use route error. We've got route provider now. No longer do we use the browser router. We're going to use this route provider thing. And we've got our routes, which is an object that is created from our routes here. So instead of making a component, you're actually using create browser router, and it uses an object config, but we like JSX, so we're going to do create routes from elements. We've got our routes here. They have error boundaries defined as part of the API, and we can now, instead of using elements, we're using components. We still have nested routing, we still have index and path and stuff, and that stuff didn't really change. But we do have proper error boundary support, so we no longer have to wrap it ourselves. We just say error boundary, and then React Router will take care of giving us the proper error, which is nice. And yeah, and then everything else is just like update from React Router DOM to React Router. Oh, and we get relative routes. We might have gotten relative routes in v6, but you don't need to worry about it until you finish upgrading everything. We get an isActive render prop API, which is kind of nice if you want to use that. Yeah, and there's some more error boundary related stuff. Relative links and things, that's cool. Yeah, so there you go. That's at least 3 checkpoints. We're gonna add a little notice. Now let's just go notice. This is incomplete and may I may finish making it. Whoops, I keep on missing something. A proper workshop with exercises. For now, it's just a couple checkpoints. You can run it locally and check the diff, or just check the diff tab in the deployed version. And we'll just link that up for you, because that's easy enough. Upgrade React Router diff. You'll want to check v5 versus v6. So that'll be this. And then v6 to v7. And did you get it? Nope. What the? Oh, I haven't deployed it yet. That's why. Just, this feels wrong. There we go. And actually this would be 50 .01.problem.v6. Upgrade. Here, we'll do it this way. All right. Okay, so v5, so it's 01.01.problem.v5, 50 problem 01.problem.v6, and then 50.01 problem v6 to 99.01 solution v7. Okay. And we're gonna stick that in the root README also. Yeah, whatever, that's fine. No, I'm bothered. I'm bothered, so we're gonna bother with it. Okay. Finish checkpoints. Yeah, those are the major checkpoints. It's going from V5 to V6, then from V6 to V7. Yeah. Kind of want to record a little tip video to talk about that. Maybe I should. Maybe I should do that right now. It's been a while since I've recorded a tip. The white theme is hurting your eyes? I'm sorry, but it's... The dark themes hurt my eyes when I've got so much beautiful natural light. I just can't see it. Like, look, I can't read that. What does that say? Because I've got natural light everywhere. It's beautiful. I love light. Light is great. When it's dark outside, then I will turn the dark mode on. Not before. Yeah. I think I'm gonna record a video. Let's do this. Uh-oh. That failed. Okay. Let's check out our types. Okay. Cannot find type definition for file React Router DOM. The file is in the program because entry point from implicit type library. Huh. Is that the error we're getting here? Yeah. Alright. Here, let's... What's wrong here? I want to make sure that the React Router and React Router DOM versions are local to each workspace and don't get hoisted. Kinda don't think that's how this works. Yeah, okay. Well, let's just see what that does. The thing is, I want some things to be hoisted, but just not React Router related things. Oh, wow, geez, is that a thing? See what this does. All right. Why is ChatGPT not showing up properly? What does this config do? Does this work for npm or just pnpm? Yeah, okay, I know what this all does. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, well, let's just try it and see what happens. Well, okay, that was interesting. Let's, first I'm gonna rimraf my package lock and that, and exercises, node modules, and then we'll try to install. Is front-end development worth it to go for? Like, I was impressed by Cursor AI. I mean, front-end devs are important, but what little advice you can give me? Good question. You can ask that on the CallCat podcast, but to give you a brief answer, yes, it's worth going into. Definitely learn how to use these tools. Okay, so we've got our own version of React Router in there. And man, this is awesome. Okay, so it doesn't appear there's a version of React Router in there or in here, so that's concerning. React Router. So we got 5 and 6 and 7. And 5 and 6, we don't have React Router DOM in the root. Okay, well, let's just, actually, yeah, let's go type checking. Okay, we got a lot of issues here. Yeah, because the types are all wrong. Yeah, that was my bad. Let's come up here. It looks like the V5 app did not get its own node modules directory with React Router DOM and the types for that installed properly. And the version 7 also did not get a node modules directory with its own version of React Router. Can we fix that? If this works, I will be very pleased, because this is a much better way to do what I was trying to do. I didn't realize it was a built-in mechanism. I'm thinking, maybe? I don't know. All right, so we're in 99 upgrade, V7. No. The V7 app definitely does not need React Router DOM or the types installed. There aren't even types for React Router DOM and React Router in version 7, and you don't need to install React Router DOM with V7. So the resolution for React Router might be fine, but I think what we need is a resolutions in the other two as well, and we definitely don't want types and React Router DOM in version 7. You're absolutely right. That's our favorite thing to hear from the AI, huh? Yeah, okay, so resolutions is maybe okay. Yeah, that one's got resolutions, and then this one. has got resolutions 2. Yeah, I guess that's okay. I don't think that that's necessarily what we want to do. It wants us to install in each directory. We're using workspaces, so we don't need to install in individual directories. You're absolutely right. Absolutely correct. So close. I don't think we want to do that. I don't think that we want to remove the React Router resolution for the v6 app because we want to make sure that we get React Router v6 even though there's a transitive dependency with React Router DOM, because we don't want to have a mismatched version of React Router DOM in React Router. You're absolutely right. Thank you very much. I'm not certain that this is going to work. Let's go and delete all the node modules again. Probably should have deleted the package lock as well. Okay, now let's see. No node modules directory in v7. There's one in v6, and there's none in v5. Things still are getting hoisted to the root node modules that match the React Router string. It seems like that's not working in our npm-rc. Okay. Oops. All right, let's try that again. All right. I think I'm spending far too much time on this. So now v7 still no node modules. v6 has no. Yeah, that didn't do anything. Does the thing on the AI thing on the left slow me down? No, I don't think so. Sometimes maybe a little bit, but so does an intern that you hire to work at your company, and then you train it up, and it's actually quite helpful. So. Okay, you can come here, reset, get rid of that. And lint. Okay, I think. Oops. I think we've got ourselves a bit of an issue. Let's see if we can figure out what the type check issue is here. Cannot find type definition for file React Router DOM. React Router DOM. Oh. Yeah, dang. I'll bet you that's what's going on. I'll bet you that, what happens if I do this? Where's my remove all the things? Hey there, Shady. I think a lot of people can relate to that. If there's a specific question that you have to ask, then we've got a really good Discord of people who are happy to help. kcd.im/discord. Yeah, whenever you're stuck, you can jump in and ask questions on that. So hopefully that helps. Good luck. Okay, cool. So types are happy. That actually is a little surprising, because now, yeah, we're getting things where they need to go. I guess it'll fall back to types if they're not built in, so maybe that's why it's working out okay. Oops, fix types. In any case, this should be updated. Ta-da! Div tab. Rats, I got those wrong. Okay, so let's go to README here. Here we go. It's the title or the subtitle that we don't need, which is good. Yeah, okay. Okay, notice fix. Push that. Okay, cool. So what we can do now is I can say, all right, here is a non-exercise workshop that has apps for these various versions of this app. And you can look at the diff tab to see V5 versus V6, and then V6 versus V7. So obviously we're going from React Router V5 to V6 here. So the package JSON is going to change, and then you may not have layout components, but you have layout in your UI, and so make layout components and then change those to use outlets instead of children. And then your routes will switch from component to this nested routing UI. I don't think I'll spend a lot of time explaining all of this stuff. It's just like, here's something that you can reference. Let me show you around a little bit. Go have fun with it. And then we can compare the V7 or V6 to V7. So we're going to upgrade from React Router DOM 6 to React Router 7. We no longer need React error boundary because that's built in, so that's nice. And then most of these changes are just switching to React Router from React Router DOM. We have proper error boundary support. Instead of using the router and a component for routes, we have a router provider, and we pass a router object. That router object comes from create browser router. And that create browser router accepts an array of objects for config. And we're going to, we like elements, so we're going to use the utility create routes from elements, and that will create the array of objects that we pass to create browser router. So it looks kind of similar, but it's not a component. This is just React elements that it uses to create the object config. And so now, instead of wrapping our app in an error boundary, we can give our route the error boundary, and it will handle that for us. We've got lots of this is actually pretty similar, except now instead of elements, we're doing components. And you actually could keep the elements. That still works as it is, but I recommend doing components because I think in the future we might be able to get props to these components that will be useful. And then we no longer need to wrap things in error boundaries. That's built-in support for that. And there's actually not a lot of changes with the way the routes are. And then again, just lots of changing from React Router DOM to React Router. We also have relative links that we can start using now, which is cool. Honestly, I feel like there's room for one more checkpoint, and that is, here's the minimal changes that you can make, and then which like doesn't do the relative links, doesn't do the component prop, and then we go into more changes. Should we do one more? It wouldn't be much. There's not a whole lot of difference. It would really just be leave the elements as they are. So this would actually change basically not at all, except adding the error boundaries. And even that, no, we don't have to do that. We can leave it the way it is. And then we add the error boundaries later. So yeah, routes would just change because we no longer are we making a component. Instead, we just create browser router. That's all. And then this wouldn't change. This doesn't have to change. Okay, fine. Let's just do one more. And we're gonna do, we'll have this be 33. And then we'll make, we'll call upgrade v7 full. Actually, you know what? Let's do, this stays at 50. So it'll be one problem or solution. Yeah, so this is where we start at v5. This is where we start at v6. This is where we start at v7. So problem and then solution. And actually, you know what? Let's delete that and we'll grab this, paste it here, v7. Okay. Whoops, cancel that. We already got it running locally. And diff. And this is v7 start. v7 finish. Okay. So let's go v6 to v7. Yeah, right here. All right, so first off, we're gonna, let's open this, or actually let's just copy everything over. Oh, hold on, undo that. We're gonna keep the error boundary stuff. So we really just wanna upgrade React Router and delete the resolutions. So let's get rid of that. Okay, good. And then open the, you know what, technically, you don't even have to change these. you can keep React Router DOM v7. Heck yeah, let's just do React Router DOM. And we'll do .o. And we'll make this .o as well. Why not? Okay. And then open this. Yeah. So that, yeah, that can still be changed. The error boundary, yeah, that change can still be there. This one, to be in v7, this one does need to change, but we can import it from React Router DOM. And then let's go over to our routes. This also needs to change, but we don't have to do the error boundary stuff. So let's come back over here. Open in app 1. In fact, this won't work because the error boundary thing. And we'll do a fragment there. So how do we do that? Maybe we move the unknown error boundary temporarily to here. That'll cover that use case. And I'm pretty sure that's it. Everything else can stay the same. We'll have warnings and stuff, but so if we go to final problem, start that guy, I think it'll work. Yeah. We'll get console warnings, I think, maybe. Yeah, everything seems to be working. Contact, there's our 404. And I know error boundaries are going to work, so cool. Okay, so now we're a little bit more incremental. I said I wasn't going to do this. Here I am doing it. So yeah, all you need to do to go from v6 to v7, from v6.0 to v7, I guess like it depends on how deep you've gone into integrating certain features. But really, it comes down to saying, okay, we're gonna create our routes differently. We aren't creating a component anymore, so we can't render the route unknown or any error boundaries in there. It's only route elements, and you create routes from elements, use that utility. And so we had to move our global error boundary to the root, which is not a problem. And yeah, and that's it. Like that's all. And then to like actually upgrade, now we can get rid of React Router DOM, just use React Router. And in fact, actually, we don't need React Router here either. So update that. So yeah, you swap out React Router DOM for React Router. We don't need React Error Boundary. You might still, but not necessarily. Then we got these. We make these error boundaries be different. They're no longer rendering the error boundary from React Error Boundary. We're using React Router for this. And we can now move this unknown error boundary back into our routes because routes have error boundary support. And then we've got all of our route config here. The biggest difference here is that we're using the component and error boundary. Those are the two things that we're changing here. That's it. Everything else is the same. And then it's just changing from importing from React Router DOM to React Router, and using new things like the isActive render prop. So we no longer have to do that. We have relative routes, which is nice. And the types have changed. Now that's interesting. I would have expected this. Yeah, we're gonna get rid of this. We don't need that. And in here also. All right, so when did that change? Yeah, in V5. Yeah, once you got to V6, they're like, yeah, you don't really need that. Yeah. Cool. And layout, about, layout, main. Okay, I'm gonna record this video. So let's get things set up. First, we're gonna set up the room for recording. This will be the first time, yeah, the first like actual proper video that I'm recording in this space. Man, this kills me. Okay, I do not like the way that those windows close. Yep, my button to close the shades is broken. We've had a lot of trouble with shades. It's been a big pain. Actually, you know what? I made a Siri shortcut. Close Office Shades. Is it gonna work, do you think? Nope, it's not gonna work. Groups, Office, close. Okay, there we go. So it's closing the blackout shades and the sheer shades to hopefully improve the sound here as well. I'm gonna get very dark, so let me adjust this to, I think we did 2.8 probably. Okay, cool. Let's take a look at the full view of that. Looks pretty good. Yeah, that does look pretty good. Okay, and so then, oh, did I not commit this? Improvements. We made some improvements. We got something that's not happy. Just make sure our linting and typing is happy. Aha. Lint or whatever type check thing. Okay, cool. So that takes care of that. This will be updated here in just a moment. This is upgrade React Router Epic Web. And I think this is all I want. I guess I'll show this to show here. All these routes work exactly the same regardless of which version you're at. Recipients. So yeah, I'll show. Here's the app. Let's close that. Here's the migration guides, which you should definitely look at, so that you can get to the future of React Router. Let's go to the home page. Probably say React Router, it's amazing. We're on V7 and there's so many cool things. And there are upgrade guides. Yeah. React Router, it's amazing. There are upgrade guides from V5, even a backward compatibility package to make it easier. And then you've got V6. Here's an app that I have, and I made some diffs that you can take a look at. Here we go. Okay, cool. And let's just double check that we've deployed the latest thing. Okay, and that's deployed. Okay, super. And we'll get this stuff in the cache as well. Okay. That should have been cached. This should have been very fast. Okay. Maybe I was still running an old instance or something. Okay, yep, very fast now. Okay, then it's ScreenFlow. Camlink. Make sure we selected the right one, because they're both named Camlink 4K. And there's no way to change that. It's impossible. It's annoying. I do not like it. Okay. Oh, and of course, pause the music. Cannot have music playing while we're doing this. In fact, I'm going to turn my sound all the way down too. Okay, here we go. React Router here is, well, what do I want to say? React Router is our bridge to the future of React, but some of us are on old versions of React Router, and that's why I'm so grateful that the React Router team, in addition to bridging us to the next version of React, has also given us some really great upgrade guides. So even if you're on version 5, there's a compatibility package to help get you over to version 6 and all of this documentation to help you with whatever it is that you're using in React Router that is stopping you from upgrading to version 6. And then once you get to version 6, there is an upgrade guide to go from version 6 to version 7. And there's not a whole lot in here, but there's a little bit. And it can be really helpful to see an example of an app that has made this transition. So I made one. This is the GrataText app, and I'm going to be using this to teach you all about React in a whole series of React Router workshops. So we're going to learn all about React Router here. And this is a pretty simple app. There's not a whole lot going on in here. There are a couple of routes. We've got 404 page. We've got links to other places. And then we have this kind of list detail view here, as well as edit pages, and including even a search here that updates the query params. So, and then of course we've got this add new recipient. So there's quite a few things going on in here as far as React Router is concerned. And I have taken this app and I have written it in version 5 of React Router, then upgraded to version 6 of React Router with as few changes as possible, then upgraded from version 6 to version 6 later with some additional features, and then from version 6 later to version 7. And so with that, this is not actually a proper workshop. In fact, if you go to upgradereactrouter.epicweb.dev, you'll find that I've got this notice here because it is using the Epic Workshop app, but I haven't made exercises for it. And the reason is that I don't really expect that you will need to get good at upgrading different versions of React Router, but I do think that it's useful to use some of the tools that the workshop has, specifically the diff view. And so if you go to /diff on any of the Epic Workshop apps, then you'll get to this page. This is actually the page I use to develop the workshops that you watch. And it's very helpful for me as I develop the workshops, but also can be really helpful for you in seeing the difference between each of the steps as we go. And so you can take a look at the code, download it yourself, and see what does the the initial state of the V5 app look like. But here are the changes that we make to go from V5 to V6 with as few changes as possible. We actually skip the V5, V6 compat package because there's not a whole lot going on here, but that might be another intermediary step so that you can iterate to the full version. But here are the things that ultimately need to change to go from V5 to V6. And this is V6 like the very, very first release of V6. So not using any extra features that came in V6.30 or whatever. So we're switching from React Router DOM v5 to v6 in our package.json. And then we go into our routes right here. And what we used to have was this flat routes with the switch component. And now we've got this routes component here with some nesting going on here. And this was a really big improvement in v6. This is reason enough for you to go just from v5 to v6 is to get this nested routing, not just in the definition, but also in what that means with the way that we're linking to different things as well. And ultimately, actually in the performance of things too. So we typically in your applications, you're going to have kind of a layout and then like little subsections in your components are the things that are going to change. And we kind of represented this in our v5 version by having these different wrappers. So we have the marketing that has the app layout and the marketing layout and then the component. And then we have the recipients page, which has the app layout and then the recipients layout as opposed to the marketing one. And then we even have error boundaries in here. Your app may not be configured this way if you're on version 5, but it probably has that sort of a look and feel, and so you could incrementally migrate to have this sort of thing if you wanted to be more intentional about your layout routes, because it will be really useful when you get into this nested routing. So switching from this flat switch format to this nested format is probably the biggest leap that you need to make. And then the rest of the changes from going from v5 to v6 involve going from using children, because layout routes weren't really a thing, to embracing layout routes with the outlet component. So instead of rendering children, we're going to render outlets. Another thing that we get from this is we ditch the active class name, and we have this function to generate the class name based on the active state. And so we are doing that here. And then we also have use search params is a new thing in React Router version 6. And so we can drop the use history and use location, URL search params nonsense that we were doing before, and just use search params and use and the set search params that we're doing there. And that's quite nice. You'll notice also the types here got changed a little bit. And I believe that the reason for that is because you're actually not making yourself very type safe just by putting this here. You really have no idea whether the ID is one of the params or not. There's like TypeScript can't know that. And so just drop those. They're not all that useful. If you want to do some runtime validation, then that's a good thing. Go ahead and do that. And then we, on the edit page, just some more of that. We have our layout again, just switching from children to outlet because we have nested routing now, and same thing with our app layout here. So not a whole lot actually changes. The biggest thing is the route definition. Now we have nested routing. So that is our v5 to v6, 6.0. And then if we want to go from v6 to like v6.30 or whatever, or even to like React Router DOM version 7, but like the first version of version, or the like very beginning of version 7, then we can do that without changing anything. So there's not really any difference between version 6.30 of React Router DOM and version 7 of React Router DOM as far as the way that we use it. But there are a whole lot of additional features. We're not going to be using any of those in this change. All we're trying to do is like make our thing work in version 7. And this is all that you need to do to make it work in version 7. You first, actually, let's go to routes. We are now importing create browser router and create routes from element rather than importing this routes. And that's because what used to be a component of routes is now a configuration object. And so we use create browser router and pass a configuration object to configure all of the routes that we have. But personally, I like JSX better than a configuration object, and so we also have this create routes from elements, which allows us to continue with our route configuration, which we had here. But one thing you'll notice here is that we don't have this unknown error boundary anymore. This is to like our just global error handler. If all else fails, it's going to render this thing. Well, because we're no longer like creating an app routes component, we can't actually render this anymore. These routes are not even like real React elements. They're just turned into the configuration object that create browser router wants now. And so as a result, we can't render this, and we just simply hoist that up into our create route, and that works just fine. Don't worry though, we can, in just a second, we'll actually have an even better solution. That's pretty much it. To go from version 6 to version 7, you don't have to change anything else. It's just create browser router, and then you can use create routes from elements, and then make sure that you're handling the fact that we're no longer a component, we're a configuration object. So then we want to actually use some of the cool features that are in version 7, or even some of these features are in later versions of version 6. And so here are the things that we need to do for that. Now, React Router supports error boundaries as a built-in feature of routes. So each route can have its own error boundary. And so you may still want to keep React error boundary around for various reasons. It's still useful for like isolated areas of your components, but if you're just putting your error boundaries around routes, then you don't need to worry about React error boundary anymore. And then React Router DOM in version 7 actually just exports star from React Router, so you can actually uninstall that entirely and use React Router itself. In fact, React Router DOM is deprecated in version 7. Everything should just be React Router. And with that then, let's take a look at our main file here. So we're getting rid of the unknown error boundary. We're going to move that back to where it was before in the routes file. And then instead of pulling the route provider from React Router DOM, we're just going to pull it from React Router. And then it's the same. We're giving it that configuration object of routes from our routes TSX. So let's take a look at that. Here we are bringing back in our unknown error boundary, and we're passing it in as the root route. So this is going to be our entire application is wrapped inside of this thing, and now we have an error boundary prop on the route component. And again, this is still create routes from elements, so that, this turns into a configuration object that gets passed into create browser router, which then creates this router object that we pass into the router provider. The other thing that changes in here, aside from the error boundaries, we also now can use the component prop instead of the element prop. And I personally prefer that because I think there's a possibility in the future that React Router will pass our components props that will be useful, like params and loader data and action data and stuff like that. I'm hopeful that that's something that could happen in the future. I don't have any insider knowledge, but that seems like the sort of thing that could happen in the future. And so moving from element to component just makes a lot of sense for me there. But other than that, nothing else changed. We are removing that error boundary wrapping and using just components and error boundary, and that's working just fine. Everything else is effectively the same. And then as far as the rest of our code goes, the biggest changes that we're going to see here are switching from React Router DOM to React Router, and updating our error boundaries to use the React Router error boundary handling. So we get our route error here. We no longer need to use the error boundary from React error boundary, and then we can just use this as the error boundary prop for our different components. So we're no longer accepting children or anything like that. And then, yeah, everything else is going to be, let's use relative routes. And so we've got relative links here. We also now have, with the latest versions of React Router, we have support for a render prop on our navlink component, and so we can, instead of doing things with CSS, which arguably maybe it would be better with this group thing, I just want to show that you actually can now use the isActive as like we've got this render prop API, so you can do whatever you want to with this, not only what is displayed, but even like what interactive elements can the user start working with or whatever. So that is another nice feature in the latest versions of React Router. And then, yeah, like there are just a couple other things with error boundaries. I don't think that there is really too much else. Of course, once you get to React Router version 6.4, you can start using loaders and actions, which is quite nice. We're not doing any of that in here. This is just taking what you could do in version 5 and getting you all the way up to what you can do now in version 7. I'm not covering everything in this example. So like there's use prompt, for example, is probably one that some people are running into that you would need to use something else in React Router version 7. I think it's, here, let's actually look at the API reference, and it's use block. Use blocker is what you would use instead of use prompt in version 7, with all the same caveats that it doesn't handle hard reloads and stuff like that. But hopefully this gives you at least something that you can reference and have like a real-ish world application and see what is the difference, what are the things that need to happen as I'm incrementally migrating from version 5 all the way to version 7 of React Router. And that is going to pave the way for you to use the latest features of React 19, get some type safety with your routing, go to full framework mode with React Router and all of the awesome things that the Remix did for React Router. It's a really, really beautiful place. So I'm glad that you're here with me. I hope that helps you upgrade to the latest version of React Router. Now get to it. Okay, good. I feel really good about that take. I don't expect I'm going to need to do much editing at all. In fact, I probably won't do any, just the beginning and the end. And let's see, probably want to chop this. I should probably have like a standard size for this stuff. Like I said, I've never actually recorded in this office, so 33 I think is too small. Let's do 50, but then we're going to crop it down a bit. Where's the crop? Oh, here it is, cropping. There we go. So all the way would be 3840. Let's do a third of that. 3840 times 0.3 is 1267. And then, oh, whoops, that's not what I meant to do. Where's the crop? 1267. I think that's going to be too much. Yeah. What if we just eyeball it at 800? 800 on the left and 800 on the right. I think that might be what I'm doing for my streams. Part of me thinks that I should do what I see lots of other creators doing, where it's just like, make it shorter. Let's put the screen on top. Yeah, probably stick that in the middle. Yeah, see, if I do that, then I feel like I'm compelled to edit things, like edit the parts where we're looking at the code. I don't want to do that. Am I being lazy? Yeah, I'm being lazy. But I think that is okay. Yeah, I kind of like this view here. I'm going to scooch it over just a little bit more. Okay. Now get to it. I always forget to start my recordings with a smile, so I look funny. Yeah, here we're going to go right there. Let me check something. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna have to stop the stream here in just a second. All right, that is too long. React router here is. Oh yeah, that's right. I had a false start. Here we go. That's a little bit nicer face. React router is our bridge to the future of React, but some of us are on old versions of React router. You know what? I can do this. But also can be really helpful for you in seeing the difference between each of the steps. Yeah, we're gonna. Stop 30. App look like, but here are the changes that we make to go from V5 to V6 with as few changes as possible. All right, and let's. V5. Okay. Locker is what you use instead of use prompts in version 7. So once we are done with the code stuff. Router version 6.4, you can. React Router version 6.4, you can start using loaders and actions. It's quite nice. We're not doing any of that in here. This is just taking what you could do in version 5 and getting you all the way up to what you can do now in version 7. I'm not covering everything in this example, so like there's. I'm not covering. All right, we'll do it right there. Okay, so then here, this guy will scale to fit, and that's interesting. Hadn't actually thought about that. Okay. Oh, whoops. All right, there we go. Now scale to fit. Stick you down there, stick you up here, and we'll make you go down to 40, maybe. And we'll crop a little bit more, actually. All right, and let's add, can we add rounded corners? Yeah. Go 50. That is active. Actually, I wonder, we could probably crop the top. No, don't want to crop the top. That's fine as it is. Okay, here we go. Let's just make sure that transition looks okay. You can take a look at the code, download it yourself, and see what does the initial state of the V5 app look like. But here are the changes that we make to go from V5 to V6 with as few changes as possible. With as few changes as possible. We actually skipped the V5, V6, we're not doing any of that in here. This is just taking what you could do in version 5 and getting you all the way up to what you can do now in version 7. I'm not covering everything. All right, save that. We're going to go tips V5 to V7 React router. Okay, and export this at 100% of the original on desktop. There we go. Okay, that was fun. Thanks everybody for joining. I've got to go in just a minute. So let's see if we can get this uploaded. This will be nice to have something shipped. Okay, sweet. We've got an article. Okay, and where did my, there it is. Okay, this will take a minute. I'll announce that later, close all these. Actually, there we go, so that takes care of that guy, and this takes care of this guy. Okay, while we're waiting for that, I've got a pull request here. That's looks great. From Samuel. Big help. Thank you, Samuel. Huh, cool. Okay, yep, that looks good. Looks good to me, thanks a lot. Okay. Okay. That's that. Okay, cool. Good, good. Just about a minute left. And yeah, and then that's it. So we are gonna stop the stream. I don't think that I'll stream anymore today. But yeah, tomorrow I'll get into the data stuff, loaders and actions and stuff. We'll add that to the GradaText app, so that we can actually start working on that workshop. So thanks everybody for tuning in. We will see you all next time.